Hi everyone, welcome to Real Conversations with All Black. Before we get started, please like, share, and follow all of our social media platforms at All Black BOTG. To get involved as a volunteer or a professional partner, please also stop by our website www.allblackab.com.
Hi everyone. So sorry about the delay. We had some technical difficulties, but we're up and running and ready to get started. Hi, I'm Tara, Coach T. Gibson. Thank you all for tapping in with us today. And this is
Hello everyone. My name is Desmand Washington, and I'm the amazing opportunity to be the CEO of All Black, and we're ready to talk finances.
Yes, we are ready. And as a reminder, disclaimer: this information that we are providing does not constitute as investment advice. We are merely sharing our own experiences on how to get started, how we've gotten started, and why we really think this is important, and how it has impacted our lives in a positive way. So, Mr. Washington, why did you get started?
Man, we have to go back all the way to 2017. My best friend told me, he's like, "Hey man, I just heard about this investment opportunity," and I was like, I don't know. I always wanted to get into stocks, but I was like, hey, let me check it out. So I actually just started February of 2017. YouTube, like most millennials, I checked it out on YouTube, and that's honestly how I got started. 2017 February of yep.
Okay, cool. And for me, it goes back, but I finally got started facing my fear of the stock market because you hear stories about people killing themselves, jumping off of buildings, because they've lost all their money. And so there's some type of stereotypical thing that makes people shy away from the stock market. And also it's intimidating in regards to, when I got into the stock market, I started looking at the charts and stuff like that. And I really didn't understand how to read them. It's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. And so it really kind of kept me away from it. But I really started getting into the stock market when I was going through a rough time with my finances. And, a good friend of mine in Texas, a really good friend of mine, he started helping me. He saw my struggle, and he was he sent me books, Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, just different type of books and resources to help me start reading and learning and understanding finances. And because of him taking me under his wing, and just kind of being there for me, and not only just sending me the resources, but also being as a mentor there for me. So when I was going to make a big purchase or I wanted to buy something, I would call him and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And he would give me his unfiltered, straight to the point, what was going on with that. So and that's one of the reasons we wanted to do a live today, is to come to you from the heart, from people that you may know, and so you can just get rid of that fear factor in regards to tackling the stock market. So and it's another great way too, as we talk about building generational wealth, right? So in order to build generational wealth, you have to create other streams of income, right? Our job maxes out at a certain amount of money. So for us to become millionaires, or for us to get to that level of six figure incomes and things of that sort, we have to find legitimate ways to build wealth. And building wealth requires building knowledge first. So moving on to our next phase, we are going to talk about what have been the benefits of being in the stock market for us.
That's going to be phase one, and then we're going to have two more other phases we're going to hit, just to give y'all won't be too in a surprise what was coming next. So what's the other two phases we got coming?
So we got what are the benefits of being in the stock market, and then for us to you is how you get started.
Yeah. So how did I get started in the stock market? Like I said, it was back in 2017, and I'm in public safety, and I was saying, what's something that everyone, the cops have? It was very simple, and I said, it automatically came to my mind, Taser. Back in 2017, the stock was named Taser, and I was like, okay, I think this would be literally every law enforcement agency I knew had this had a Taser, and it all was the same brand. So I was like, man, that could be something I don't mind investing in. And a key tip that I would say starting off is only invest in the stuff that you have researched and stuff that you believe in. So I'm like, if every cop has it, it must be something good about it. So, and I think it was like February 2nd, 2017, I invested. At that time, it was trading around $23 a share. So I invested 10 shares. And then not shortly after, maybe in March or April, that stock dropped.
Ooh.
But doing research,
right.
They always said only buy low. Right. So I said I still believe in this stock. So guess what I did? I bought 10 more shares.
Okay.
It dropped. It was only $1 drop. That's why I was like, oh, it's not that bad. It dropped to $22.
Okay.
So
that's not no drop.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. But I did. But you have to understand from the stock market, you see that me personally, I trade on Robinhood. So as a new investor, I saw that ticker go down from one, and I had 10 shares at the time, or 7 shares at the time. So I'm like, man, a little math. I'm not a mathematician, but that's like $7 lost. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm already losing money. I'm the worst investor ever. But I believed in it. I went back in and I brought it. So initially, just to give you a heads up, you don't need much money to start. Don't. I think that's something that we both want to touch on.
Yeah.
Back in 2017, I had some cash flow, but I didn't have much. So I think I had transferred over about $300 or so to the Robinhood account. And with that, I was able to purchase the shares of Taser at the time, which now is called Exxon. And I was like, what's something that everyone uses? Netflix. So I was able, and it was a pretty expensive stock at the time. For me, it was $139. Hindsight, I should have purchased more of Netflix as well. But I was only able to purchase 3 shares of that at the time. So, and I believe it was like $139.
What is it now?
Right now it's $436.
Woo!
Right. So we are gonna go. I want to give you all positive. But right now that stock is $436, and actually I checked before this just to prepare for this. Exxon was trading this week at $122.
Okay.
So that was a pretty good investment for me as well. But that's how I got started, and then I started doing a little bit more research, and I started adding slowly to my portfolio from there. But those 2 stocks jumped it off for me. What about you? What did you start investing in?
Yeah. So with me, and for me, the benefits of investing in stocks have been there's a lot of benefits, but for the most part, this is 3 that I really wanted to touch on in regards to what have been the benefits for me. And 3 things are confidence, respect, and another stream of income, right? And so when I say confidence, my swag hit different now, right? My swag just hit different when, I say I got my stocks. People looking at me like, you got stocks? I'm like, yeah, bro. Not knowing that I don't have a little bit, but they don't need to know all that. But, I've had a past of like, looking rich, right? Looking rich, but not really having the substance behind that to say that I got money, right? I just look the part, right? Good, and people think I got money, but man, if you saw my bank account, bro, I'm struggling. So, I really got tired of just looking rich. I really wanted to add the substance behind it, right? Not just look rich, but be rich. Yeah. So getting into the stock market has caused my swag to go up. And again, there's nothing wrong with looking rich. We should be well kept, but you guys know what I'm talking about when I'm saying, going around, flossing like you got it going on and you really don't. So another thing is respect. As I'm gaining true understanding of how money works, like really true understanding of how money works, regardless of how much you have, it's really helping me respect the process, right? Because it takes patience to build wealth. It really does. It takes patience to build wealth, to sit on a stock. I know I mentioned in a post that I gained $2,000 in 2 weeks, which I did. I gained $2,000 in 2 weeks, but I sat
which is rare,
right? But
very rare.
I was gonna say, but I sat on that stock for almost a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I got it at 97 cents, and that stock flipped up for me. So it was really a blessing in regards to that. But there are times when you can get in and flip money. I put up $500 in 1 week, and the next week it went up and it flipped it, and I made additional $500 really quick, and I took my money out. But those are things that you can learn how to play the game once you get comfortable of being, in it for a while.
Did you do any research before you didn't just?
No, I did know. Yeah, I did.
And I think that's where we're getting on too. You want to do your research.
Yes.
I have one of my friends. I learned my lesson early. One of my friends like, oh, you should get in this stock. Listen to them, but do your own research too.
I got a story for that.
So that's huge.
I got a story from that one. And then again, like we mentioned before, another great, another reason is, building wealth, right? And so I feel like, creating another stream of income, we have to step outside our comfort zone and attach ourselves to something that is a legitimate way of making money. When I started talking to my friends, I have a friend that's an investor, works for an investment company, and my cousin, I had to give my cousin a shout out because he really, really helped me understand investing, and he really pushed me over the edge to go ahead and get an account and open it up, because he was like, if he said if you're not in the stock market, you're not trying to make no money.
Right.
That's what he said. You're not trying to make no money. You can talk about it, but if you're not in the stock market, you're really not about that money. So when he said that, I'm like, bruh, I
want to be about it.
Yeah, I just want to talk about it. I want to be about it. And so he has really helped me out a lot in regards to his knowledge. And again, I want to speak to the fact that it's good to have a mentor. I'm somebody that you trust and can rely on, because I'm the kind of person that I did my research. I watched videos on YouTube, like you said, but I also I'm still learning. I have so much to learn, and so I just dived in. Like, I'm a hands-on learner too, and so I just dived in. But it's, for me, it's like, if you have an entrepreneur spirit, the stock market is definitely the place you need to be, right? Because if you say you can own your own business, then you should be able to own these stocks, because these stocks, you're an owner of a business with these stocks, right? And like he said, you should get invested into things that you care about, things that you like,
where you believe on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give a quick example for that. It's one thing to go to a restaurant and support a business, but when you support and you gotta own shares. Like when you see a positive review on he's like, man, hey, keep it going. You helping me out. Right. So my good friend, he had Apple for a while. And, when every time Apple product, he's like, yeah, keep on buying up, buying up. But I can actually give you a little later on, and this is how you can continue growing your portfolio. Mm-hmm. I had experienced Shake Shack maybe back in 2018, I was like, man, I love the way they do. I love the way they do it. You know what I mean? I love the way the customer service. I love how exclusive it is. I love the taste, the quality. It took me a little longer to get my food. I was like, man, this is some. So literally, and everything's everything's accessible to you.
Right.
So don't wait till you get home. Look at the ticker now. Start your research. A little minimum. Make sure the CEO ain't saying nothing crazy. Right. You know what I mean? Make sure they're not trying to expand in 4 different countries for their first time. But use your own sense. You can even if you're not an entrepreneur spirit, you've been a consumer all your life.
Right.
So I think that's huge. We've been buying stuff all our life. Right. So use your own sense, and put a little research behind it. I think that's the way we can really take off. So I know Shake Shack, people like going out, but I know it's a weird story, but literally that stock, I brought that when they were in the 20s, and I sat on it for literally about 2 or 3 years, and I was able to sell that and got a couple dollars off that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And when we talk about that, so I took a different route. Like I said, my cousin has been really instrumental, and I appreciate him. He told me about a stock called AMD, right? And I really didn't know it, but the more he started talking about AMD, it's a microchip like Intel, and he's like, if you know how people with video games and virtual reality and computers and stuff like that, he's like, this is the stock for you. He said, this is the up and coming stock. He said, if you don't get an AMD, something wrong with you. That's all my cousin did. He shoots straight from the hip, right? And so I'm like, let me get this AMD. So I got AMD, and this is what I want to talk about, a dip, right? Because when you get a stock, you gotta be okay with the dips. You gotta understand why the dips before you just sell out and get out of the stock. And so I got in at $33 a share. I only bought a little bit of shares, maybe 3, 4, something like that. But then the stock dropped to $16. So that's a dip.
So now you got a decision. Now you got a big decision.
From 33 to 16, the stock dropped. And I'm like, yo. But luckily, he was a little bit more seasoned than me. He's like, when it dips like that, he said, buy more.
And this is not an investment, but something you will hear if you do your research a lot.
Yeah.
The general rule, if you don't remember nothing else we said today, always buy low, and never sell when you at your lowest. If you unless you just know that stock is about to bankruptcy or something crazy, but never it's ride the waves.
Yeah.
If I can't say nothing, ride the waves. Don't be fearful.
Yeah, because he said the stock is good. He said the stock is good. They're gonna bounce back. It's a good company. And so, well, I didn't buy any more because I was scared. I'm not gonna lie.
You should have.
I should have. No lie. I should have bought more of that stock. I should have bought more AMD. I didn't. I'm sorry, but I should have, because now the stock is almost $100, right? So I started at $33. The stock is near $100 and projected to get to there. So if I would have gotten more shares at $16, I would have.
You do the math.
Yeah, right, right. So I would have had a lot more profit. So it's really good to keep up with the trends and transactions. Just like if you own a business, just like you check social media every day, just check your stocks every day. Check the news. See what's
Monday through
going on.
Friday, they're there.
Yeah.
That's on except the holidays.
And it's like when we talk about trends, for instance, Starbucks is a really good stock that I should have got into. I was told about Starbucks. It was kind of high for me, so I didn't get into it. But during the pandemic, the stock dropped, obviously, because we were in shutdown. Yeah, a lot of stocks dropped because of the pandemic. So it was at $50 a share. It was from $80 to $50 a share. I should have got in it then, because knowing that it dropped because of the pandemic, and so when the bounce back came, when we reopened, right? Guess where all y'all went?
Y'all wanted the Starbucks.
Hey, y'all want the Starbucks. Thank y'all very much. But unfortunately, I didn't get the stock. I should have got in at $50 a share, but I didn't. And so now the stock is almost at $100. So it bounced back really nice, and that would have been a great opportunity, for me to get into a share like that. So, but as we wrap up, we got the last phase here is, how do you get started, right? That's probably one of the big questions, that you probably have is, you're hearing us talk about our experiences, and, I'm gonna say, I don't know everything, right? I don't. But you have to, in order to make money, you have to get in, get in the game. Like, if you're not in the game, you can't learn, you can't, understand things. So, how do you suggest people get started?
So I like that we're doing this, because we got totally two different vibes that I'm going with. Yeah. All right, and I don't want to swear by a stock, but it has never done me wrong. So stock that I'm going to suggest, a trading app that I'm going to suggest to you is Robinhood. So they do a lot of social media marketing. They are marketing a lot to the 20s. So when I got in, I was in my mid 20s at the time, and it was perfect for me. Mm-hmm. So that's how I got started with Robinhood. And I just want to tell everybody that's listening right now, it's a low barrier of entry for stocks. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As long as you have enough money to buy or purchase a share of stocks, and you don't have to get in there and buy a whole bunch of stocks. Mm-hmm. You can get in there and buy 1-2 shares, diversify your portfolio, buy 1-2 shares, maybe one tech, maybe maybe one fast food chain or whatever you research. But it's a low barrier of entry. If you can buy the stock for $13 a share, or $14, or 99 cents, or 59 cents.
Yeah, I got one for 3 cents.
Yeah, you can get in there and see it. It's crazy how many different options you have. So,
it is. And
Robinhood makes it easier for me. The only thing I would say about Robinhood itself is that it did take about 5 to 6 days initially for my money to transfer from my bank account, from my checking account, to the Robinhood app. So another good thing, when I was doing my research back in 2017, there was no trading fees for me to sell a stock or purchase a stock. So that was real big for me. So that's why I went to Robinhood. But Ms. Gibbs, Coach T's gonna give you something else. But like I would say is, research which one is best for you. Research which one is best for you, and go from there.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Yeah, Fidelity. So I use Fidelity Investments.
Nice.
That's what I started with, because I just had. I knew someone that was familiar with the company, and I heard really great things about the company. I'm like, yeah, I like Fidelity now, and I've been on it, and it's a great platform. It has a lot of research information on there about the different different stocks, different companies, and things of that sort. I've had no problem trading. And again, you need a brokerage account, because a brokerage account is different than a bank account in that it you can't buy stocks with a bank account, so you have to have a brokerage account. And another good thing about having a brokerage account, if you have made some mistakes in your past, and maybe you don't have good credit, or you can't even get a bank account, you can still open a brokerage account, unless you just tore up some stuff, right? If you just tore up some stuff, then you're in trouble. Just work and get yourself out of that. But you can open a brokerage account. It's just like opening a bank account. They're going to need your social security number and things of that sort, and verify who you are, because it is federally regulated. But And if you don't have a bank account to link to the brokerage account, you can mail the funds in. But you need to do that research because every brokerage firm is different. And I think we put some on the screen that you guys, could look at. And
Can I tag along right there real quick?
Go ahead.
A lot of my friends were so weary to put in their social security number.
Yeah.
Starting off, because that's like one of the first things that ask you. I just know from my experience with Robinhood. But I promise you, if you're trading on the exact app that has Robinhood and it says it's verified, that's the app. And if you want to trade stocks, you have to put in your social security. There's no way around it because it links up to everyone. You can't trade stocks for so and so. It links up to you. So don't be weary. As long as you're on the Fidelity or correct whatever you want to trade with, as long as you're on the correct way, that's the way it happens. Definitely. You have to put your social security number in there.
You have to, and that's one of the things that we have all these myths about trading stock. Like I said in the beginning about hearing stories about people killing themselves over losing money, but I had to really think about that. Like someone who's killing themselves, they're losing millions, maybe even billions of dollars. Right?
Have to be.
I ain't got that kind of money, so I'm only gonna put money in that I can afford to lose. Right?
That's what we
don't put your rent money in and don't bill money in now and try to get it out. No, I mean put money in like $25. You can have it come out right out of your bank account every month. Just going into your account, $25, $10, $5, whatever you can afford.
And I keep on cutting you off.
That's okay.
But I just want to say this too: if you put in money that you're willing to lose, you're gonna have that mindset that you don't need to take it out immediately. Right. So unfortunately, some people I know would put money in it, they need it back in the next 6 months.
Right.
Your stock maybe not appreciate in that time. Yeah. So only put money in there that you're willing to lose, and that your stocks are a long-term play. So a lot of things, especially when COVID, was ramping up, and unfortunately still ramping, but unfortunately when it was really high, a lot of people were losing their jobs, and you saw all these money schemes and things going out. Any real wealth is going to take time to build. Yeah. So always have that mindset. And the same thing with the stock market. You always got to have time for it to build. So I apologize to cut you off, but no. I just want to let that be known. Only put money on that you're willing to lose, and if you have that mindset, you're going to be willing to ride that wave. And then when it goes low, you're going to be able to put more in there because you've done your research, and you're going to be able to ride it properly.
And I know there's a lot of disclaimers. You're going to hear a lot of people say, lose, lose, lose. And I mean, honestly, I haven't figured out why they scare people away with that, because there's so many safety features that are in place to help you reduce your risk loss. So they have features where if you have a stock, you can set a safety buffer. Where if the stock drops below a certain amount, it'll automatically sell. So you can cut your losses and things of that sort. So there's a lot of safety things in place to help people minimize their loss,
and vice versa. If that stock ever double over when it hit that point, you can automatically sell out of the stock. So that's it works the other way. Yeah. So just quick point, way I do it. If the stocks really does well, I at least take the money I initially put in, and I go invest that somewhere else, and then I let the rest of the money continue riding the wave in there. So at that time, it's like this is free money. Honestly,
exactly.
It's just money I made. So So in that point, you do have to have the entrepreneur mindset because you understand you just can't pull money out of your business, which is you,
right?
And just take it out unless you have something coming up. So
you do. I mean, you do, and that's one thing. Even how drug dealers, they buy low and flip high, right? They flip it and then they take what they flipped and buy more drugs and then flip it again. So
take it to the stock market.
It's the same thing, right? That's what I did with my $500. I put my $500 in there for a week. It flipped. I took it out and I took my $500 right back out. Now I'm playing with house money, as we call it. We're playing with house money. So once you get a rhythm, once you get your own personal strategy, you'll be able to do things like this. And I haven't even been doing it that long. I don't even know that much, but it's so many opportunities, for you to be successful. It's so many ways for you to be successful than not, right? But I don't know why they have this fear factor for people. I mean, I'm assuming people have, lost a lot of money in the stock market, understandably so. But if you are just vigilant and consistent and just continue to learn how to do that, then you should be okay. You really should be okay.
And the stock market has bounced back many more times than it has lost. So I think but you have to be willing to have a long-term play with it. So at some point, honestly, unless the company goes bankrupt or it merges somewhere else, it's gonna come back. I mean, if you believe in the stock, you've done enough research, at some point it's gonna come back. And as we stated before, that's not financial advice, but it's just from my personal experiences and what happened to me.
And one more thing I want to touch on too is make sure you understand basic trade rules. So And that's something you'll have to kind of figure out and find. For instance, when I say a trade rule, like if I purchase the stocks, I made this mistake recently, which I'm kicking myself, but I'm learning as I go. But I purchased the stock, and it dropped. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it dipped, right? Yeah. And I got scared, and I sold it. But then it bounced back, and I was like, oh snap, I want to get back in. Well, at this point, I can't get back in the stock because of trade rules, right? And so there's so much things you have to learn. And again, like if you see a stock that's hot, you buy a stock, you have to wait 3 days before you can even do anything else, with that stock. So if you buy the stock and then within that 3 days,
gone because you got scared.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just little rules like that you'll learn as you get into the stock game. But once you learn them, you got it, and now you know how to navigate. But know your learning style. Get your own strategy. And for me, I'll touch on it first. So my strategy is, since I'm still starting, I'm still very, I call it playing safe. I don't know if I am or not, but this is my safe zone. So I stay between the $0 to $30-$35 range is where stocks I look at. Like $100 stock a share, that's really pushing it for me. And so that's where I'm comfortable at. So if a stock is that much, that's kind of where I feel comfortable in buying the stock. And I learned a valuable mistake because I had a tip from someone that said, hey, this stock is good, get on it, it's fire. And I'm like, yeah, but it's $75 a share. It was out of my strategic, my strategy, my safe zone. But I'm like, well, it's a friend. I trust them. They feel pretty passionate about it. Long story short, I got in the stock and it tanked. It tanked. And I'm like, man, I should have stuck to my strategy. So
I was about to tell you.
I should have stuck. So I was gonna say, once you find your rhythm, once you find your strategy, stick to it. I would say stick to it unless for sure that something's gonna be good. So, what type of strategy do you have when you?
So I'm big on investing in what I really believe in. So and I do this back because when I had success back in 2017 when I initially brought Netflix, which was out of my comfort zone. It was a lot for me. But it was 139 times 3 for the Netflix stock. So I do what I can afford at the time of when I'm putting the money in and investing, and in what I really believe in. So it can literally range anywhere. So I don't have a. I mean, if it's too much, like when Amazon. Yeah. Come on now, hook me, brother, up. If you wanna bless me with a stock, man, hit me with a little Amazon if you love me. Right. But like an Amazon, unfortunately, that's way too high. So in my mind, I divvy up how much good. If I have $200, how much good am I going to get for that 139? Yeah. Or can I, if I do a little bit more research, can I divvy it up maybe from like your plan, a 33? Getting that a couple more times. So that's my strategy. Whatever I have to invest at that time, and I just go in there and do a little research and go from there.
Yeah. So and I have a stock that's 3 cents a share, right? And so, but it doubled, right? So my little $60 that I put in for the 3 cents a share is more than double, and now it's at $150.
Yeah.
Right.
See, so that's huge. Yeah. I like that look too, cause and I don't know from that stock, but Matt was able to diversify your portfolio. So I know on Robinhood you can literally go in there and see what's the lowest trading stocks on there. So if you do a little bit of research and get in there at 3 or 4 or 5 cents, who can't afford it?
Right.
You can buy a lot of shares for a Big Mac. You know what I mean? Exactly. In the company. So that's a good way.
They don't have dollar menu in the stock market. The stock market got a dollar menu.
They do. So I just want to share my story real quick. So I've been trading since 2017. I made decent investments from there. But from there, I was like, I was trying to buy investment property. I'm trying to diversify my portfolio. I was trying to buy investment property. I was like, man, where can I get the rest of my funds for the escrow? Everything you need for purchase of investment property. And I was like, I don't want to, but I can touch my stocks. So it was a blessing. I was able to honestly pull $5,000 and leave all the stocks that were still dear to my heart, like Taser changed their name to Exxon. I still got at least one share of Netflix, where, like I said, they were trading at $400 at the time I pulled it out. So I was able to pull $5,000 out and put it for my deposit and escrow for investment property. So I just want to say, and that was all $5,000 of profit I made in the stock market. Right. So It's coming
since
from
2017, right?
Yeah. And a lot of these stocks, unfortunately, has even jumped up even greater. So if I would have left it in there a little longer, and pulled it out later for I can use for the the monies for the housing market. But I just want to say, coming from somebody that has no experience, no trading.
Me none either.
2017. I mean, that was a blessing for me. So I was just gonna say, do your research, get started. I can't say how much it's been beneficial for me. I would never. The only reason I'm not currently investing, and it's another thing with the stock market, you have to understand is, unfortunately, you have to know your ground. So if you got a housing or if you got a big purchase or something going up, unfortunately, you might have to pass on some deals. So I've passed on a lot of deals, unfortunately, because I've been, saving and getting everything invested for the investment property. But when that's done and I got that secured, I'm gonna go right back to the stock market. So I'm honored for me to. If I don't know how many people listening, but do your research and think about getting into it.
Right, sure. Exactly, and also too, like if my friend Jasmine Douglas is watching, what's up, Jazz? This is something that you can share with people who are trying to get up money for a down payment, because I know you're a big time realtor up in Virginia. So when I heard him say that, I'm like, man, this is a great way for people who want to buy a home and stuff like that. If you can make some smart investments to create that down payment. So many things you can do with it. We can't cover them all here. We just want to see if we have any questions or anything like that. Let me take up my phone and see if we have any questions from anybody on here, and we don't. So
anything on IG?
We don't have any questions.
Oh, that's cool.
But if you guys think of any questions or anything like that, hit us up in the chat, and we'll be sure to get to them for you. But again, we hope this was helpful. Let us know if it was helpful. If it was, we can do another one and kind of explore some other different things that we've experienced. But hopefully this is enough to give you the confidence to get started. I'm telling you, like, I'm so passionate about it. I normally don't do things like this, but I'm really passionate about it. And really believe that this is something that can really help you change your life and give you a peace of mind, right? Because having that extra money, having that cushion,
and like you said earlier, it gives you empowerment. And I think that's a lot of times, I don't think we talk much about our company, but that's something that we really want to instill in the communities. Our disenfranchised communities is empowerment. We need to take that power. Like I said way earlier at the beginning, we're great consumers, but pay yourself first. You deserve. You work too hard. Even if you're a business owner on your 9-to-5 job, you work too hard not to pay yourself. And if you are just going to pay yourself, why not invest some money to work for you?
Make it work for you while you're sleeping. You know what I'm saying? I usually say when you're sleeping, you can't make no money. Yeah. But if you get in the stock market, when you're sleeping, you're making some money.
Or if you're vacationing, you can make some money.
Exactly.
I just want to say thank you. And again, as CEO, I sincerely apologize for our tardiness. It's definitely not something that we want to outlook as for all black, but we only wanted to bring it to you quality, so I hope it was quality when we did go live. So again, thank you so much, and hopefully we can record this for people can see it a little later down the line as well.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
God bless.
Thank you for joining us. If you have any additional questions, please send an email to contact@allblackab.com. Remember to check out our website, www.allblackab.com, for more information on how to become a volunteer or a professional partner. Remember that we do need your help to make change. Have a great day.